Hello and welcome to all my dear students and friends. I am Ravinshu Sharma, Assistant Professor in Department of Journalism and Mass Communication of Babu Banarsidass University, Lucknow. So today I am here to start a video lecture series on radio journalism and production theory. So before starting this subject, let me introduce you with the syllabus of the BBD University that we have. The subject code is BJMC4303 and the course title is subject title is Radio Journalism and Production. So the course objective is to tell you about the characteristics of the radio as a medium of mass communication and its limitation, so that you can identify the different modes of broadcasting, types of radio stations, and you can distinguish and describe the qualities of different types of microphone used in radio production. The learning outcomes are to understand the advantage and disadvantage of radio as a medium of mass communication, to apply radio science and codes in radio program recording, to distinguish and identify and the different modes of broadcasting and types of radio station, to write effectively for ear, to understand the three phase of radio production, that is pre-production, production and post-production, and the last outcome is to apply the right kind of music and sound for different formats for radio. So in this syllabus, in the first module, we will be covering about the radio as a medium. Their topics that will include characteristics of radio, advantage and disadvantage of radio as a medium, history and development of radio, which is the most important thing. You need to know about the history of the thing that you're going to study. Radio broadcasting in India, when in India radio started, radio science and codes, some special symbols, talks and music radio. In the second module, we will be dealing with the theme, the radio trend and technology. In this, the subtopics are radio broadcasting, digital audio broadcasting, world space, the FM revolution, community radio, amateur radio, narrow casting, podcasting, webcasting, radio signal up linking and downlinking. In the third unit, the third module, we will be discussing about the radio writing, like writing about the radio, how to write about the radio's talk show, radio discussion, radio features, radio interview, commentaries, radio drama, and other various formats, how to write about them. In the fourth module of the syllabus, we will be talking about the most important three phases of the production. That is pre-production, second is production, and the third is post-production of radio program. Studio recording setup, we will be talking about the setup of the internal studio that has. We will be talking about the special audience program like dramas, sports, jingles, public service advertisements or public service announcements. So in this syllabus, we will be discussing about the various interesting things as you have seen right now. This course credit has this has 4 credits, and this is in the third semester of second year of BJMC of BBD University syllabus. So let's start with the first module, radio as a medium, a theme. The first topic that I will be discussing will be the radio characteristics as a medium. The radio overview. I'll be talking about the brief about the radio, what are the characteristics of radio, what are the hierarchy of radio, what is the organizational setup of the radio, and what some few programs, special programs about the formats about the radio, and overall view about the radio. So let's start with the PowerPoint presentation. This we have. So let me discuss initially with the this radio broadcasting. So you can see first radio broadcasting. So this major broadcasting, it's a major broadcasting media. As you know, it's a very cheap, it's very easy to access, and blah blah blah. So in 1906, this started experimentally. In 1920, broadcasted commercially. Then mechanism of transmitting audio through the air as a radio wave from transmitter to the antenna to the receiving device. Then stations can be linked in radio networks to broadcast common programming, either syndication or simulcast. What are the characteristics of the radio? This is the most important topic of this entire video. What are the characteristics of the radio? So the first characteristic of radio is that it is very cost efficient medium. When we talk about the cost efficient medium, then what does it mean? It's very cheap. Like anybody can purchase this radio as a as to access. If you compare with the other mode of the media like television, or like if you talk about the advertising on some digital things or the digital gadgets, radio is the very cost efficient medium. You can purchase a small radio like in 50 rupees or 840 rupees or 100 rupees, whatever. It's a very cost or very efficient, cheap. Advancement of technology made radio production and transmission less expensive. Production format is sound which can be produced at very minimum rate, because if you talk about the TV has the audio and the visual, though two mediums it has. So if you talk about the video, if then video, producing a video, that needs a very lot of crew and equipments like camera, mic, lights, and various things. But if you talk about the sound, we need only a mic or a speaker to get the output. It's a very cheap thing you can produce with a minimum price, minimum rate. So it's a very cost efficient medium. If you talk about to produce audio, it's very cheap, and to access the audio, it's also again a very cheap thing. Second characteristic of radio is a public medium. When you talk about the public, it means radio can be accessed by any number of people simultaneously without much technical parameters. So like a lot of people are accessing radio at a single time without any chaos, without much technical things, and people are getting information, people are getting the entertainment, and people are getting the educational things from them. So these three mode of the media, education, information, entertainment, all things are covering with this radio as a public medium. So public is getting benefit. It's the second characteristic of radio. Coming to the next, radio is accessible for the illiterates. See, as we know, still it's 2020 in India, so it is we are in the developing country, and under developing countries it becomes a popular medium because these characteristics of the radio can be accessed by anyone, anywhere, and anytime. So radio is accessible for the illiterates also, because many people in the country who are illiterate, they are not able to properly read and write. So it's very difficult for them to read like newspaper, to see the advertisements, the text that are coming over there. But if they are listening the radio, so at least they are getting the words what the other people, the government or the RJ of this, or the person is trying to convey the message to the audience. So it is very informative tool for the illiterate person in India. Like in India, it's a developing country, but still it will take time to get developed. So it's like that. Radio is a mobile medium. Like we can listen to radio while moving. For example, if I am moving in a train, I can access that Yeah, this is very, like you can say, it's a very different feature of the radio. It's a mobile medium. You can listen to radio while you are moving. Like for example, you are moving in a car. Then you have just tuned to a radio and you are just enjoying the music. You are enjoying the news. You are enjoying the content and the everything that is broadcasting on the radio. So you are enjoying radio while you are moving anywhere. So it's a very mobile medium. You're traveling in a train, or you are doing some work at home, like household works that you are doing. Then also you are enjoying the radio and enjoying the music and everything. And the next characteristic is radio is the background music. Again, a specialty of the background medium is that it can be used while doing the other jobs. You are doing some typing work, you are doing some cooking, you are doing some anything at your place, and it's just playing in the background. You are enjoying the music and yeah, like other things. Radio is an audio medium. Being an audio medium, radio is accessible to the visually challenged also. Visually challenged people who they are able to read through the braille system that you all must know about that thing. So if you talk about the radio, it is only a medium that people who cannot see, who are blind, you can say they can listen this medium and access the content because they are not able to read the newspaper, they cannot see the advertisement, they cannot watch the movie. So it's the best medium for them to access the content. Radio needs less energy. In that sense, it is an environment, like it's an environment friendly medium. It needs less energy. If you talk about our senses, we have five senses like ear, nose, tongue, eyes. The sense that is engaged in the radio, that is our ear. Just we have to listen. If we talk about the television, we watch movie, we watch serials. Two of our senses gets involved for the particular interval of time. Like if you're watching 3 hours movie, so for the entire 3 hours, our ears and our eyes gets engaged for that. So if we talk about the radio, our only ears, one of the sense gets engaged and which needs very less energy. Radio is a speedy medium. If you talk about speedy medium, it's instant live broadcasting with less equipment is possible in radio. For example, for some breaking news happened particular area. If you talk about the other medium like print, journalists are going to that particular place, collecting the five W's, one H, then they are writing, then it gets published to the next day in the newspaper. If we talk about the television, the cameraman, the anchor goes to that place, reporter covers the story and gets telecasted after a few particular hours. But if you talk about the radio, it's like instant broadcasting with less equipment possible in the radio section. The RJ or the anchor news reporter sitting at the radio studio, and when he gets the news, he just prepare the mic and start giving the news in very speedy way. So it's very speedy video. Coming to the radio formats, I'll just discuss in very short about the radio formats because I'll make a new video for this particular topic. It's a very vast topic, so let's discuss in a very small about the radio formats. Overall content broadcasting over the radio station. In today's age of radio, many radio formats are designed to reach a specifically designed segment or niche to the listening population based on the demographic criteria as age, ethnicity, background, etc. The news, it's a format, news, talk show, it can be sports format, country music format, contemporary hit radio, that is CHR music format, adult commentary music format, rock and alternative music format, urban music format, jazz and classic music format, oldies, adult hits, nostalgia music format, Spanish and Latin, world music format, religious programs, public government community radio program, college and student life format, other formats like for the children and for the ethnic group. Coming to the next topic, this type of radio station. If you talk about the type of radio station, uh, it's like commercial radio. Like first, we will be discussing about the commercial radio station. Stations under this category support themselves financially by selling time on their airwave to the advertisers. Although, if you talk about the radio advertisements, it's very difficult to get the advertisers for the radio, because in radio it's like one sense gets involved, and the advertiser and the company who thinks if you're paying a certain cost for the particular thing, then our brand image, our logo, our packaged products, the images get also telecasted to the TV or the, if you talk about the radio is only single medium. People hear only about the product. They are not seeing that particular product. So the eye time, the screen time, the watch time, that is zero in radio, what you can say. Because here only audio gets broadcasted, and the people who are listening about the advertisement of the particular product or the company, they are listening that thing. They are not watching, they are not seeing the, they are not able to recall the brand image by seeing the product or the logo. So it's a commercial station. These days it's very difficult to get ads. Still, people are doing good and getting ads. Cost is a little less in comparatively to the televisions. So stations under this category, commercial station, they financially are stable by themselves by selling their time on here. Coming to these non-commercial stations do not receive financial support from the advertisers in the sense of airing commercial. For example, if we have particular FMCG product or the company service, if you are advertising, so we are not taking the advertisements of this. They are like funded by the government. That's why they cannot take the advertisements from the public, private advertisers, or directly from some party. They are funded by the government. Donations from the private foundations and the organizations are major source of income for this non-commercial administration. If you talk about some NGOs, non-governmental organizations, they can also give fund, like from private foundations who are working for the welfare of the society, who are doing good for the people in the society. They can give the donation to these non-commercial radio stations, but they do not take the advertisements from the private advertisers companies, and they are funded by the government. AM and FM. The full form of AM, I think you all must know about the amplitude modulation, and if you talk about the FM, it's famous, it's frequency modulation. So this category is purely on the type of wave used for the transmitting radio. This category do not deal with the commercial or the non-commercial. This category purely deals with the type of wave that are used in the transmitting radio messages. So coming to the AM, that is amplitude modulation radio, the amplitude or the strength of the carrier wave vibration fluctuates with the sound. This is the, you can say it's a USP in this AM. The an amplitude modulation radio, the amplitude. What's the amplitude? The wave. If you talk about the, if you draw the wave on a piece of paper in the x-axis and the y-axis, so when the wave comes up and down, so this upside, this is the amplitude. The amplitude or the strength, that is the strength of the carrier wave vibration. When we say a loud in a high pitch, like loud, the wave, the amplitude gets high because its wave gets to the on top. So the strength of the carrier wave that fluctuates with the sound, that is amplitude modulation. If we talk about the FM, frequency modulation, the strength of the wave that remains constant. Strength, it remains constant, and instead it is the frequency or the number of vibration within the wave that change the base. So the frequency, like it is measured in the wave, that is the wavelength. It's called lambda in or mu, it's in physics. So it is measured in the lambda, that wavelength. So frequency is the number of waves, you can say, that is the frequency. The more number of the ups and downs, that's like again it's a frequency. So the number of vibration within a wave that change is based on this sound, that is FM, frequency modulation. Coming to the next, that is structure of the radio. This is the most important one. What is the structure of the radio in radio stations, about the various designations, poles, charges, and everything. So Structure of the radio station. Coming to the management department, a lot of departments are there. This management department is an important one. It takes care of the overall administration of the radio station. It is divided under the business manager, accounting manager, human resource manager, public relation manager, promotion manager. So these managers they look after the various things about the promotion, branding, salaries, promo marketing, and the accounts and the client serving, like various things. The managers, they in every company, they do not able to run properly with the managers. So it's a very important section. The work of management department cannot be seen directly. It is can be seen indirectly. Coming to the programming department, this is an important again, it's an important component that especially deals with the media related responsibility of the station, the programs, the various other things, the content, the genres, setting the genres, morning show, evening shows, who which artist is doing the particular thing, like which program. So programming director, next is like programming section. We have programming director. She is in the charge of all works related to the programming planning, research and production, and permitting for transmission. It's very important. Again, it's very important thing. The first category include on-air talent, DJs, reporters who are normally not on the regular payroll of the station. In some station which have good funding, they can take the people like on the full time also. The other category includes production director, music director, sports director, and like programming executive, who are directly responsible for the production and supervision of the segment allotted to them. So next we have engineering department. Engineering department, the work of the engineering department is very important because whatever we are accessing, we are hearing, we are seeing the everything, how the things are done, how signals are uplink, how the signals are downlink, how things are technically checked whether they are okay. This wavelength, the frequency that we are getting sound, what about this. So the technical aspect of the station are handled by this department under the supervision of chief engineer and the assistant engineer. Sales department. It is another important section of which monitor and ensure financial flow of the station. The sales department is organized on the basis of the business model followed by the station. Everything like revenue, creating the revenue, about taking the ads and the sponsored programs, collaborations, and the other things. Sales departments look after this. So it's a general like flow chart of the radio station. On the top there is a GM, general manager. Under him there are four important section comes: news director, sales manager, operations, chief engineer, business manager. Under the news director, we have reporters and technicians. Under the sales manager, they have account executives and promotion manager. Under the operations, they have RJs, DJs, talent, and then traffic manager. Under the chief engineer, transmitter manager is there. In the maintenance supervisor is there, and then engineers. Business managers are also there. Under the business manager, accountings and the building, the maintenance. So this is the common chart. You can see it's followed in the generally in radio stations. People follow. In some radio stations, this chart is slightly modified as per their need, as per their requirement. So this was sufficient for today. I hope you have learned about the introduction about the radio that I have given, about the characteristics of the radio formats, radio structure inside the station. So still you have any question, any query, you can contact to me. You can write your comment in the comment section. And please, if you like this video, and please like, share, subscribe this video. And thanks for watching this video. In my next video, I'll try to discuss about the radio, various formats, radio programs, and the other things. So thank you for watching, and stay in touch. Hello and welcome back to all my dear students and friends. I am Ravinshu Sharma, Assistant Professor in Department of Journalism and Mass Communication of Babu Banarsidas University, Lucknow. So today in this video I will be teaching you about the advantages and disadvantages of radio. What are the benefits of radio? What are the pros and cons of the radio? So we will be discussing in this PowerPoint presentation. So let's get started with this. Advantages and disadvantages of radio. Before this video, I have already discussed with you about the what is radio and what is the structure of radio, or what are the characteristics of radio. So in this video, I'll talking you about the advantages and disadvantages of radio. So in firstly, we will be talking about the advantages of radio. So, radio is one of the media which covers huge population. And I have already discussed with you this point that it covers the major population of our country because it works on the FM and the AM, and it works on the signals, and it is a cheap medium to access. So anyone can buy a piece of radio device and can access the content. So radio is one of the media which covers the huge population. It can be accessed to the areas where televisions can't be accessed. Okay. The second advantage of radio is radio can be enjoyed at home, in office, while driving car, and can be enjoyed anywhere. If you talk about, or if you compare this radio with the other media like television, like newspaper ads, or like other things like news, mobile phones, so you cannot enjoy all the things at everywhere. Like TV nowadays, you can access both in the office and the home and the office as well. But while driving a car, you have to concentrate on the road. So you cannot concentrate. You cannot concentrate on both the places. Like you cannot watch TV and you cannot drive the car simultaneously. But if you talk about the radio, you can listen to the radio and while you can drive the car. If you say if you have a call, you can pick a call, you can receive a call, and you can also enjoy the background music of the radio. So it can be enjoyed in home, can be enjoyed in office, and it can also be enjoyed by driving the car. Coming to the third point, the radio channel varies from region to region. Hence, you can listen radio in your regional language. Yeah, this is one of the most important point. The beneficial point of open radio is that it can be accessed in your own regional language. If you see, we are living in a country where there are a lot of languages are used. For example, if you move every 100 kilometers from your place, you will find a variation in the language. That's local language, you can say. But if you talk about the regional languages, if you change from one city to the another, or even from one state to the another state, you will find a big change in the language. That's the regional language. So TV, if you see TV that is in English and Hindi. Nowadays, TV various channels are there which on air the programs on the various regional languages. But if you talk about the radio it has the system to on air the programs, the news and other things in your own regional language. Because radio channels varies from region to region. For example, if you are tuning to a particular frequency at Lucknow and you are tuning that particular frequency at Mumbai, so in Mumbai and Lucknow, both places the same frequency like Radio City, both have the different language of the tone the RJs are saying, the program, the content that they are delivering. Maybe the brand name is same, frequency is same, but the content, the language that will be different. Okay. So the fourth advantage of radio is, like other entertainment media, radio is also favorite of large number of population. Yeah, nowadays in the digital era, we have cell phones, we have tablets, we have laptops, various mode of communication, like media we can access, modes we have, but still radio is the largest, like favorite of large number of population, because radio is again it's a cheap medium, it can be accessed anywhere, it's portability, you can carry radio anywhere, anytime, and it requires very less consumption of the power supply. You can also use radio to a particular place where you do not have the option of power supply, but still you have a double A size battery or the button cell battery. You can access the radio with that much power also. So it's like you can access radio anywhere, and the people who are illiterate, they are also able to access the radio. So it's a favorite of a lot of people because it do not have to use the it do not have to deal with the literacy rate, or it do not have to like visually challenged people who are not who are not able to see the video. They can also access and enjoy the content. So it's favorite for them also. Coming to the next advantage of radio, you can advertise your product on radio, and the rate of advertisement is usually lower than the medium of communication. You can advertise your product on the radio, like we see, like I have already talked to you about the we sell the airtime of the radio, the advertisers in the commercial radios. So here also you can advertise your products on the radio, and rate of advertisement is usually lower. As I've already discussed in my last to last video, that in television, ads are like audio and video. So to move the content delivery and the brand image, logo recall is more. But if you talk about the radio, there is only one sensor involved, and the medium is only audio medium. The content, the we are just listening about the product, brand, and services. So we are just listening the things. So in that case, advertisers are paying less amount to the radio, which is, you can say, it's not good for the economy about the radio, but it's good for the advertisers. They are even like they are able to send their ads in a very less price, because they have to show, they have to tell about the product. They don't have to show their product. So you can, it's a plus point also, that the for the advertisers or for the people who are looking for the market space for the advertisement, they can advertise their product and rate the advertisement, rate of the advertisement, that's a price that is usually lower than the other medium of communication. Coming to the next one, that is that important information or news can be easily spread on radio. There are few places where TVs can't be accessed, where internet is not able to access. We are living in the like 2020. It's internet. It's 4G, 5G, 6G. We are living using broadband Wi-Fi era. So internet is everywhere. But still, there are few places where internet connectivity is very poor, and people are not much aware about the new media, digital technologies. Still, in those places, radio plays an important role. Radio, the news, that is very important. If you talk about the information and education, that is secondary one, but the news is very important for the local people who are living in a particular like hilly area or like the outskirts of the city, who they have to access the news to keep themselves updated. So important information of news that can be easily spread on the radio. For example, if a government has to transmit any information, they want to spread to the all over the world, and even the small places of the city, so they prefer radio. For example, let's say Man Ki Baat, Narendra Modi ji, in every last Sunday of the month, since 2014, 15, I guess, from 15, yeah, every Sunday, last Sunday of the month, Man Ki Baat, that is on aired on the televisions and the all India radio, both the platforms, because there are a few people who are not able to access the TV and the YouTube, so they have option to access those content on the radio. Next advantages for local market. Radio is one of the powerful medium of communication. Let's say I'm living in Lucknow. So if there's some particular local business in Lucknow, and they want the target audience, they are targeting the audience of the Lucknow. They have to they have planned to sell their products and services within the city. So the target audience is Lucknow. So they want the advertisement to be on aired on the domain of the Lucknow. So it's a best platform for them, because they want the customer to walk into their shop or the business of Lucknow local level. So radio is the best option for them. They don't have to run for the television ads and other things. They know it's a best medium for the communication, and it is very fruitful for them, for the local business who want their promotion to be done in radio in very less cost. Last, I would say this, and last not the least, was this advantage of radio is low cost production. Again, it's a very low cost production because they have to deal with the only audio thing. If you talk about the video production, the cost of the video ads is a lot much, because we talk about the video, then the camera, we talk about the camera, we talk about the lights, we talk about the stats, we talk about the many things, actors, crew, and the various other things. But if you talk about the radio, it's audio radio, then the word audio comes to the mind. And when we talk about the audio production, then you need only mic and a sound clear or soundproof area where the ambient sound is very less, and you can record your thing. So you don't have to look after the location. You can sit anywhere. You can sit on there, you can stand on the terrace, and you can sit inside the room and just record your voice on the mic. It's very low cost. And if you talk about the post production, adding the sound effects and adding the background music, it's very easy and handy, and it costs very less if you compare with the video advertisement. So these were the some advantages of the radio production. So now let's see, there are some disadvantages of radio also. Coming to the disadvantage of the radio, the first disadvantage of radio is only an audio medium for the communication. See, if you talk about the advantage of everything has disadvantages also, but radio has very less disadvantages. Like it is only an audio medium. Again, I have already discussed it's only audio medium. So if the company is new in the market and we have to establish our product, or we have to establish our brand image, then radio is not the best one. Yeah, if we have a good image in the market, and for the promotion, or like if there is saturation in the product or the service, to reverse the saturation, like we are using the radio to recall again and again the brand value advertisement, the radio is only an audio medium again. So it means we are accessing the content, including our one sense, that is ear only. Secondary, during bad weather, yeah, it's an important thing that during the bad weather, we all must have experienced one or the other time, once in a lifespan of our time. Like in bad weather, one cannot listen to the radio properly. Maybe say there is some noise, maybe there is some technical problem due to some antenna problem. Like often unclear, it is affected by weather. So weather plays an important role in the radio transmission. If you talk about the new media, if you talk about the internet, the video that we are accessing through live streaming, or the we are accessing through the internet, or we talk about the television antenna, that is far more better than the radio, because in bad weather those do not get affected a lot if you compare with the radio. So during bad weather, you cannot listen radio properly. You can listen. It may happen that you can listen, but it's not like every time it happens that there is a windstorm at the outside, it's raining, thunderstorm, and your radio transmission goes zero. See, these things happen. These things used to be happen earlier, but in nowadays technology advancement, things are getting very much like improving day by day. Companies and technologies are working, antennas, they are using good qualities, everything is changing. So now, third disadvantage is you need to adjust frequency properly. Yeah, many times it happens you are manually adjusting the frequency. For example, let's say 98.6. So your audio gets catch exactly at the 98.6. If you do 98.5, or if you do 98.9 or 8, then there will be some noise video problem, error in the noise in the radio transmission. So you need to adjust the frequency properly. Exactly, if it is 98.7, then it should be 98.7, neither 98.6 or 98.7. Okay, it should be that particular. Okay, the next disadvantage is less and limited radio channels are available compared to the other communication medium. Other communication medium like in TV and the online channels and the various advertisement platforms, a lot of mediums channels are available. If you talk about the radio, there are still in this 20th century, 21st century, the limited channels are there in the radio station. If you talk about the community radio, again limited. If If you talk about the commercial, non-commercial radio, again limited. The few brands in the India who are really doing very good. If you talk about the Radio City, Radio Mirchi, Red FM, Big FM, man, these are doing very good. But these are just on the finger count. They're not like the television channels. One cannot determine. One cannot say on a frequently, or I cannot count on my fingertips about the channels that are running on the televisions. Okay, so radio channels are still very less in today's time, limited and less. Okay. Radio is a background medium. Again, I already discussed this thing in the characteristics of the radio, and you can do a number of things while listening radio at your home. If you are doing household chores, you can listen to radio. If you are doing some writing work, if you're doing some reading work, and you can listen the radio in the background. Next, add are an interruption to the entertainment. Yeah, in radio, it's like every medium it happens that the 60% of the revenue that comes from the advertisements and the 40% revenue that comes from the circulation, transmission, and the other things. So, again, like radio also ads are there. One cannot stop the advertisement. Sometimes if you see in like a way that advertisements are the interruption to the entertainment. For example, if you're listening any song, so like four songs back to back, then after that you are listening the radio. This radio ads are just the interruption, but one has to listen because the radio people, they have to earn the money also for your entertainment. They are not charging anything from you. They are not charging anything from you for the subscription of the radio channel. They are on airing. It's free of cost. So for the advertise for the generate the revenue and to disperse the salary, the various people who are behind the radio, they have to run the advertisement, which is somewhere you can say it's an interruption to the audience. You are listening song, for example, and for let's say we are listening the important talk show, or you are listening to news. After some particular interval of time, again radio advertisement comes to, and radio advertisements are more than the television ads. Next, short exposure time. Again, it's you can say exposure time is very short. Content comes and goes. Next, low attention. People generally do not pay more attention to the radio. Earlier, it used to happen. People pay more attention to the radio, but these time, everyone is having a cell phone number at hand. Everyone is having accessing the laptop, internet. So people generally believe, if they see particular content or they watch thing, then they believe these things to be more okay because two of the senses are included, and in radio only one sense is included. Next is poor audience attentiveness. Again, we the same thing. Poor audience is not so much active because they are accessing only content. They have the option. If they do not have the option, but in these days everyone is having the option to access. Everyone is having a smartphone. They have internet access, so they prefer to see rather than to listen. Creative limitations. If we talk about the people who are behind the radio, who are making creative into programming, who are the radio jockeys who are working day and night for us to give the best content and for our entertainment. So they have the option of creativity, but there's a lot of limitations because every time they have to think as an audience what we are accessing the content. So every time the RJ has to think as an audience because the words that they are using, so whether the audience is able to imagine or visualize that content or not. So they have to use those words. In fact, if they have to explain a particular situation, then they have to use more words rather than you are showing a particular scene in a movie or in the short film or in the serial. So in radio, things are again challenging for the creative people. So the limitations are creative. Again, no opportunity for the visual impact. It's only one medium, so you don't have the option to see the content and think about it. So opportunity for the creative people, it's so people who are working behind this team, they have very less because only one option is there. Lack of control. Okay, again, we have the lack of control on the radio because we cannot run radio we cannot get the content as per our need, as per our requirement. Like if you are opening the radio and tuning to your favorite radio station, so it may happen you are listening this song which is not of your favorite choice. or maybe at night if you want to listen a particular song. So demand that song at night rather than you have to listen what they are like broadcasting on the radio. So you do not have the control over the radio. Like, but if you talk about the internet and cell phone, you have cell phone, you have internet, anytime, any day, any film if you want to watch that, you just open and access that. You have the subscription of these days, you have the subscription of Amazon Prime, Netflix, and the various other online web series channels. You can watch anything, anytime, anywhere. But in radio, the control is not like that. So it's one of the disadvantage of radio, you can say. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I tried to cover the various advantages and the disadvantage of the radio that are there in reality. So still, if you have some advantages and disadvantages of radio, you can add. So you have some query, question, then please comment below in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. I hope you have liked this video. Okay, so thank you and be in touch.